Everyday life. Everyday life.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the ABSA Ready to Work series here live on Facebook. You can look at the comment section and post your comments or questions. We shall take them as we move on in the program. But it's the ABSA Ready to Work program, which is committed to helping the youth move from learning to earning. The ABSA Ready to Work is also an app now on the iOS devices and also on the Apple Play Store, and then also on the Android device as well. You can go there, download it, and you will have a stream of knowledge to learn and to equip yourself and give yourself a chance and a head as far as the career and the corporate world is concerned. My name is Ebenezer Amankwa at ABSA. Today we are treating an interesting topic. It's a topic that personally I am curious about, and so I think we're going to have a good time this morning. We're looking at understanding and managing a budget. It's a very important thing. I mean, inflation now this morning is actually 43%, and the government just read its media budget some weeks ago. So not really easy times for the country's economy as we move along, and things are going to get tighter. So budgeting, both on the personal and the professional level, is very, very important. Today I have with me two exciting people to help us make sense of what budgeting is all about. I have here with me Samantha Biller. Samantha is with our governance team at ABSA Bank. And then I have Gloria Wallace. Gloria is a senior dealer, FX, with our investment and banking section as well, all at ABSA. So they are here to help us discuss this topic. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
So I'll start from Gloria. Gloria, how long have you been with the bank?
7 years.
7 years. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All in dealing.
And no, I did a bit of ADB, Access Bank, relationship management, all through to investment banking. So, yes, that's been my career.
So you're born to do banking then, because you've done everything banking.
Yes, sort of.
And how has it been so far?
Very interesting.
From where you sit? Yeah.
Yes, very interesting. The ups and downs are there, but all of that shapes you and makes you a better person. Yes.
And Samantha, you seem like a young, energetic, and enterprising woman. So how do you find it? I mean, how long have you been with the bank?
So I've been with the bank for about 10 months.
Oh, okay, so
Yes.
a newbie.
I am.
Okay, and how do you find your job so far?
So far, my job has been interesting. It's challenging. It challenges me every day. Every day I get to make very interesting decisions that ultimately shapes the entire direction that the bank is moving. So it's really interesting.
Right, so we'll go straight to the topic, understand and manage a budget. Very, very important. I'll start with Gloria. I mean, what do you understand by budgeting? I mean, I have always been curious about the process. When I was young, I used to work at a place where I was told that you don't need to budget because you're a young man. Just focus on spending your money, dress well, look, glint when you're appearing, and that will take you places. Then when you start making the money, you can think about budgeting.
I think every day we just have to be budgeting. As you rightly said at the beginning, look at where inflation is. It means that every time, every step we take, we need to budget. And budgeting is more of, preparing and planning for a future expenditure. Mm-hmm. And every day is the future, truly. So you just need to, allocate resources, track every time you're spending, know where you're spending more, cut down on what is not necessary, and also
If you can
always,
speak up a bit. If you can speak
yes,
up a bit,
you always have to put your mind on the goal. You know, the goal has to be a future expenditure, something that helps you to create wealth and not just spending on a daily basis on things that are not really necessary. So you need to plan, you need to set a goal, you need to know your income streams. You know, you should be on top of your expenditure, and budgeting is more of a discipline. You need to stick to the budget. If you have a goal, you need to stick to the plan towards achieving the goal, and budgeting helps you to do that.
So is this something that can be learned, or is this just, does it come naturally?
I think it's
should you have a predilection to want to always budget, or you can learn?
You can learn, but you have to be deliberate about it. If you have a goal, you need to be deliberate about it. You can't continue to just spend, but the expenditure must meet a goal, you know, so that's everything. Because now our incomes are still where they are, but expenditure keeps going up. And so you need to be deliberate about your budget and where you want your money to go. Yeah. And in the long run, when you budget well, it helps you to create wealth. You know, the end goal for budgeting is to create wealth. It's not just to live, but to create wealth and live comfortably. That's budgeting. Yeah.
So Claire, I mean, we're not in easy times in the country. I mean, towards the end of last year, throughout the first half of this year, we've had a bit of topsy-turvy moments economy-wise. So money is really hard to come by. You know, so at what point do you juggle between what to spend, where to spend, and what to perhaps grow to create wealth? Because I mean, I know that people started asking questions about, you know, where can we even, you know, save our money, or where can we make money on what we have? And those were all concerns that people had earlier in the year.
Yes, so, you know, there are two things. If you can't actually, you need to have multiple income streams. Just one job will not help in these times we find ourselves. If you have a hobby, you can convert that hobby into making more money. And then when you start saving, you need to look at investing. Where do we invest now? That's a whole topic on its own, but you need to be deliberate about putting money away and investing it. Mm-hmm. There's a thin line between savings is different from investing. Putting money away is saving. Savings, yeah, but investing, something that would, you know, create wealth for you. Putting money into a viable venture. And now the financial space is not. So the real sector is where everybody is looking at. And that's another topic, but you need to speak to a specialist on that to know where exactly your excess money should go. Yeah.
Now, Samantha, I mean, you're a young professional. I mean, what are some of the, what moved you to want to speak about this topic? Why do you think we should listen to you when it comes to personal budgeting?
Well, my journey with budgeting started when I simply wanted to live according to my means. So when I was in school, I always had the habit of, you know, always calling back home for money. And it really bothered me. So I decided that I would plan how I spend my money in order for me to spend the money at a very reasonable time so that I don't always have to be calling back home for money to make my parents, you know, get tired of me so soon. Yes.
So that's what moved you?
Yeah, that was what really moved me. But then as I, you know, climbed up the corporate ladder as well as, you know, trying to navigate my way through life, I realized that it's not just about spending according to your means. You also have to be putting money aside for stuff that's all usually come up unexpectedly. So it went from being just me trying to live according to my means to seeing more of a future and realizing that, oh, I can take this far. So that's really my motivation so far.
So how has it been so far when you started like active budgeting, being, you know, conspicuous about what to do and how to live within your means, as you say?
Yeah, it's been great, however challenging. You know, as young people, most times we want to fit in, we want to be on trend, we want to you know, visit the nicest restaurants and have the nicest meals.
And why not?
Why not? I mean, but you know, it's challenging because all your friends are doing it and you want to do it. But, you know, as Gloria said, it's a goal that you want to achieve. So you have to be very careful, and then you have to, you know, it's discipline, honestly. It takes a whole lot of discipline to be able to stay within your budget and then live according to your means. Yes.
Yeah. So Gloria, we want to understand and manage our budget. What are the simple steps we can take in terms of, you know, preparing or budgeting personally?
Yeah,
as an
personally,
individual?
first of all, you should know how much income you are getting. Yes. Some people set the goal before they know how much they are earning. But I think that...
Isn't that ambitious?
Yes. I think that how much you're getting, your income, should determine what kind of goals you can set within a certain frame of time. And then you should know your expenses. Some are variable and some are static, you know, and you need to manage the variables because those ones are, you know, on a daily basis or a monthly basis. And then the static ones are planned. You plan towards them. And when you set the goal, you need to be very clear with that goal. You need to be very clear with the goal because some people set goals that you can't attain those goals.
Yeah.
It looks like you're near. Like she's a national service person. Then within 6 months, you're setting a goal to own a house.
Yes.
You know, you're going to stretch yourself thin. So you need to know how much is coming in, know what your expenses are, and then set the goal, stick to the plan, and track. You know, that's one thing we don't do, tracking. You know, you think you set the goal, you've probably put a standing order on your account, and the money is going somewhere into an investment, but you're not tracking. How much are you earning on whatever you're putting away? You know, you need to track, you need to revise the plan as and when you're moving on. If some other income comes in and every month you're setting aside something, you need to increase that amount so that you can attain that goal quickly and then move on to another goal. The goals continue to, you know, revolve and change depending on how much is coming in and how much is going out. And you have to keep tabs on your expenses. That's one thing that we can, and for the youth, for me personally, is the data. Data to stream and see what's going on, get information. So you need to keep tabs on your expenditure, where you go at certain times of your life. It's not everywhere you can go to. You know, you can't spend on certain things when you haven't started earning properly or achieve key, you know, things that you need to achieve before you attain a certain age. If you are supposed to be educating yourself to get a better employment, you don't go to places where you're just whining and dining anyhow. So for me, you need to track how much is coming in, set a goal, keep tabs on your expenses, and then, you know, continue to revise the plan as you go ahead. Yeah.
If you are listening to us, this is the ABSA Ready to Work series live on Facebook. You can post your questions in the comment section. The ABSA Ready to Work is also now an app, and you can get that on the iOS device if you have an iPhone. And then also if you have an Android phone, you can download that in the Play Store. The platform gives you a whole new world of experiences with a plethora of learning opportunities and skills that can empower you to move from learning, if you're in school, to earning. And it also gives you the confidence to be ready for the job market. That's very important in these times where the number of unemployed people are so much that it overcomes and overwhelms even both the public and the private sector. So this is the ABSA Ready to Work program. We are discussing the topic, understanding and managing a budget. And we have Samantha Billa with our governance team at ABSA, and then also Gloria Wallace. Gloria she's a senior dealer in our FX team at ABSA Bank. So Samantha, what tips would you be telling a young student today listening to you about how they can, you know, adopt or, you know, compartmentalize this process of budgeting?
Yes. So budgeting is a process. It doesn't really come at a day, or you can't just jump into it. You have to plan it very well. So what I did was initially I started just tracking what I get versus what I spend.
Yes.
That was the most basic thing that I started with. So I get this money, this amount a week. Okay, this is how I'll spend it, or this is how I spend it.
So you do
usually,
like a spreadsheet, or like you put it on paper.
Exactly. So for me, I used to write. I like writing a lot, but then lately I've adopted a spreadsheet as it's easier. It helps me also balance it with work as well. So I write it down, what I'm going to do, what I want to do. It's also very important. So after just tracking how you are spending and earning, it's very important to also set some realistic goals for yourself in terms of saving. So I may be having a certain amount coming in, I spend it, it's fine. However, do I want to save something for the future? Do I want to, engage myself in certain activities that will require me to spend money that I usually don't spend? So that was where some of the motivation also came from. So, for example, I wanted to take lessons in tennis. So I knew, I had to, pay money. But then I didn't have a stable source of income.
Exactly.
So I decided that, okay, this is what I need to be able to take lessons. So let me, try and then shift things in my weekly allowance or my daily allowance, and then see how I can go about it, and then make money from there. So when you have a goal like that, it's easier. For me, it was easier because I had a goal and I really wanted to achieve it. So that's it. The first thing is to just track yourself, look at how your behavior is. Then the second thing is to set a realistic goal for yourself, as well as, what is long term in the long run. Is long term. So you shouldn't also be too hard on yourself if you're not able to stick to your budget. I used to be very hard on myself if I'm not able to stick to my budget, and it really drained me mentally. But having those things set up, you still need to be disciplined. You still need to be very disciplined, and discipline is the core of budgeting. You can set up every single budget line and do everything you want, but if you're not disciplined enough to stick to your budget, it's not going to work. You can just forget about it. So cultivating discipline is also very key.
Discipline is a good word to use. I think discipline is something that most of us find hard to maintain and stick to. So that's a very, this is like an interesting moment where discipline is a key thing when you want to be sustainable in budgeting. So Gloria, are there lessons that perhaps you wish you knew when you were starting out that perhaps now looking back you would have done, you would have stuck to probably?
When you starting to invest early is one of the things that I wish I knew. In fact, maybe budgeting before investing. You realize that as you grow older, you don't have the time. You had some monies you spent on certain things when you were 18, 19, 20, and you could have just, invested those money. So starting to invest early, starting to apply these skills very, very early, because you don't have much responsibility. It's just you, what you wear, what you eat. You are not feeding anybody else. You're not taking care of a family, and you have a lot of disposable income at that stage. And so getting to practice budgeting early and investing early gives you that, freedom to still live, and at the same time, keep up with your financial goals. So doing these things very early is very key. Taking these lessons very early is important.
Yeah. And this question would go to both Gloria and Samantha, but I'll ask Gloria first. If you're a young person today in secondary school or university, of course, you're not earning regularly, and we don't have such an easy economy as well. What should be your priorities when you're perhaps spending as against, what you can save? What should be your priorities? I mean, I know the youth would say a lot of things. They would list 100 things if we asked them about priorities, but from what you said, what can you tell them?
Let me take you back a bit.
Yes.
For me, every young person at this stage should have a hobby that you can convert into earning income. You have a lot of time. And so much as you are in school or you're out of school and you're trying to get a job, get a hobby. If it's baking, if it's photography, if it is sewing, anything else that can earn you extra income. You know, for many years, most people in Ghana only have one job. You close, you go home.
Yeah.
But you should have multiple streams of income to be able to meet up and catch up with some of the things that we are discussing now. Yes, you can budget. You're not earning anything. You are in school. You're not earning anything, but you have a hobby. You can do something. You know, when you vacate and you get home, can you bake? Can you do photography on weekends? You know, can you set up a small studio or go and, you know, take shots at weddings? What else can you do? Because that's the only way you can free yourself up and meet up with the times. So every young person should have a hobby and convert that hobby into some sort of income.
Be disciplined, because that's the key to budgeting. Have a hobby as well. We'll go for a quick break, but this is the ABSA Ready to Work live on Facebook. You can put your questions in the comment section. We will take them once we come back from the break. My name is Ebenezer Mankwa. I'm here with Samantha and Gloria, and we're having a good time.
Everyday life. Everyday life. Everyday life. Everyday life.
Welcome back. This is the ABSA Ready to Work series on Facebook Live. My name is Ebenezer Mankwa. We are looking at understanding and managing a budget. I'm here with Samantha and Gloria. They are both at ABSA Bank, and we are looking at how we can maintain a sustainable budget as individuals, and most importantly, for the youth who are out there watching us this morning. So we'll quickly attempt to deal with some of the questions that have come in. Somebody says, Immanuel says, oh, is this the Gloria I know from SGSSB way back? Okay. There's a question, I think, what's an example of something you feel was a smart purchase and one thing you do regret spending money on? This will go to Samantha.
Okay, so I'll start with a thing that I regret spending money on.
Okay.
I regret spending so much money on eating out. It's not for everyone. Eating out is not for everyone. For me, what really helped me maintain my budget was eating what I cook. I started that very early in the budgeting phase, and it really helped me a lot. So eating out was, I won't go into that anymore.
Okay, interesting.
But one thing that I've realized that was a very smart purchase for me was the purchase of a smart device that I use to do all my trackings. So not just, so now the smart device is going to help me, you know, budget, save, as well as invest. So one thing that you would need in budgeting is something that can help you track, as Gloria said. So purchasing a smart device that helps me track my budgeting really helped me. So now all my dealings are in one space, and I'm able to track all of them. So it really helped a lot.
Good. Somebody says your goals should be bigger than your inflows. That makes you want to stretch. So that's a comment or a contribution to what we've been talking about now. Somebody says, my concern, Gloria, is about having multiple streams of income. I don't have any money anywhere to create another source of income. How best can I make meaning from my salary?
So
that's the question.
What I said about multiple streams of income is not using the salary you're earning to create that, but do something else that helps you to earn more income. You know, aside your day job, side hustles are also good, a good way of, you know, making more money. So that's why I said you should get a hobby. If you can sew, you sew for people who don't have time. If you can teach other kids for people parents who don't have time to help their kids do their homework, you can create something out of that and make more income. So multiple streams of income is not using your main salary to create more, but do something else that helps you to bring in more income.
Another question to you, Gloria. How do I prepare for unexpected expenses?
There's something called creating an emergency fund. Everybody should have that. You should always.
What is that?
You should always have, you know, that money sitting in a low-risk investment. And if I say a low-risk investment, don't be looking at anything exorbitant, but something that you can just fall on immediately disaster strikes. You know, that money is just set aside, and it's said that it's 6 months of your salary.
Gloria, isn't that easier said than done in this country? I'm not sure I have an emergency fund. I don't think I do.
No, you haven't labeled it as an emergency fund, but you have that money sitting somewhere that you know that, okay, if, I lose my mother or my father or my car breaks down now, I can touch that fund and then fix it. Everybody has it, but you just not labeled it as an emergency fund.
So maybe I should label it then. But Samantha, what about you though?
The question again?
The question is about, you know, how you can still, you know, create multiple streams of income even if you don't have enough. Do you need money to create the avenues?
So from my experience, I've realized that you really don't. You know, with the modern era that we are in now, with the rise of social media, everything is at everyone's fingertips. So you can monetize content.
Yeah.
You can monetize, as she said, photography. Everyone has an iPhone now. Everyone has a nice camera now. So you can monetize anything at all. You can learn a trade. You can learn how to braid hair. You can learn how to sew, as she said. You don't really need money. You do need money to make more money. However, you can start small. Yes, so it's always there. Unless you are born into generational wealth, you are at zero with everyone. So you have to, you know, start small. You have to be realistic. The thing with the youth is that now we want to do less and make more. Doing less and making more, you need a lot of money to do that. However, we are youth. We have nothing. So we have to start small and then focus on creating the wealth long term. Also discipline, always, it should be key, core, you know, in creating the wealth. You need to learn. You need to invest in yourself.
Hard work.
You need to work hard. You need to make money. You need to work hard. It should be legal. And yeah, so that's it.
So hard work hasn't changed. I mean, despite the era of the Gen Zs and digital technology, hard work is still the same, and that should be something we should put our minds to. Discipline, hard work, and being constantly aware that you need to create wealth for future future expenses or future activities. But final words from both of you. I'll go to Gloria first, and then I'll come to Samantha before we wrap up.
Okay, budgeting is a mindset. Budgets don't limit you. They don't limit you, but they create room for you to get some freedom and create wealth for yourself. Budgeting should not be looked at as, putting yourself in a box. You can't feel free to do anything you want to do, but it's a path you chart to create wealth for yourself. If you stick to the plan and you are disciplined about it, you create wealth in the long term.
Thank you, Gloria. Samantha, finally, before we wrap up this morning.
I would say budgeting is only the beginning. It's a long way to go, in the steps of creating wealth. And if you are not born into generational wealth, don't worry. You can start somewhere. It's a long process. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You'll get there. We are all not there. Everyone is getting there. So don't be too hard on yourself. Be disciplined. Take conscious efforts to put what you have planned into action. You planned it yourself. No one planned it for you. So you always have to take conscious efforts to put in what you've planned into action. And then in the end, we'll all be smiling at our vacation destinations.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Thank you, Samantha. We're done with the ABSA Ready to Work program live on Facebook. My name is Ebenezer Mankwa. The Ready to Work series is also an app now. You can go onto the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download ABSA Ready to Work. It can give you a platform of learning opportunities for you to better yourself so you can move from learning to earning as an individual. My name is Ebenezer Mankwa. Join us some other time as we come your way with another interesting topic to equip you for the job market. Thank you very much.
Everyday life.